Welcome back to the Real Estate Den. This is episode 29. Today we have returning Krystine out of Georgia, and we have a new guest today, Cinthya, out of Denver. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, let's just sort of hop right into it. We'll go kind of quickly because I know we already have an episode with Krystine where you told us kind of where you're from and what you're doing. But just for those who haven't listened before, tell us a little bit about what you do and what location you're in.
Sure. I'm in a suburb of Atlanta. I'm in Marietta, Georgia, so about the northwest part of Atlanta. I've been living here since 1996. I came down here from Pennsylvania and I'm originally from New York. I have had a real estate business for 23 years, going on 23 years, and I have my own brokerage here that's mainly residential, and I work with and for myself. I don't have anyone working out here for me except for a transaction coordinator, but that's what I'm doing here.
Nice. Cinthya, tell us a little bit about you and where you're from and what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm originally from Costa Rica, so this beautiful accent is not going anywhere. This year I've been living in the States for 24 years, and I moved when I was 24.
Oh, wow.
So big party
Yeah.
coming in November. Been in the mortgage industry, in the financial industry since I was 19, so 27 years, in different roles. I've been a broker for the last 8 years, and right now I'm holding my license with Barrett Financial, but I'm also self-employed owner of my own business. I just opened a mortgage processing company, and I love the easy transactions. However, apparently I kick ass at the difficult ones. So any weird animal that you don't even know where to begin, chances are I've seen it.
Great. Well, that gets me into my first question. So we've got a lot of years in business on the show today, which is exciting. So can you share a crazy story from your career? Like one of your craziest real estate stories that you were just kind of like, oh my, and I'm not even like picky on like, what the feeling is. Like it could be any sort of crazy. I'm obviously coming from like hopefully like positive crazy. But I guess if you want to get hardcore crazy, like knock yourself out. But yeah, I like to hear the crazy real estate stories.
I really don't attract crazy, thankfully.
Love that. I love that answer.
Yeah, I don't give it and I don't get it, but I can tell you a scenario that I just had last quarter. So it was my first time having this happen, and I really prayed the last time, but I worked through it. So what happened was I had an open house and I was the listing agent, and I had a couple come through and they fell in love with the house, and I asked them, of course, do you have an agent? And yes, we do. I said, okay, I know the way this house is priced and the way the market is, it's probably not going to be sitting around long. Please ask him to send me something quickly if you're going to write an offer. And she said, oh, absolutely, we're going to write an offer. Well, about 24 hours later, I finally hear from the agent, and he sends me over the offer, and the offer had, I think it was 11. I counted 11 errors in the offer, including my name, my brokerage, like all the pertinent information was incorrect.
Big stuff.
What's that?
Big stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't small stuff. So of course my seller is anxious because you know how we are. We get excited, like, oh, we're gonna get an offer when we probably should wait till we have it in hand. So, I've got him like, hey, where's my offer? Sir, I cannot consciously give you this offer and have you sign it because you are not going to appreciate me afterwards. So let me hammer out the details with the agent, make sure that it comes correct, and then you can have it. Well, that conversation with the agent did not go well at all. And I deliver things always with sugar. I always want to speak to someone else the way that I've spoken to.
No, and you totally do. Because I was just thinking that. I was like, man, Krystine, some agents on there, I said it nicely. No, you didn't. I know you said it nice. Like, I know you were not like.
I can see that about you.
Thank you. So, and we're having a conversation. It wasn't an email. There was nothing to misinterpret. I just said, hey, listen, I really need to have this with the things correct. Well, what's wrong with it? I immediately got attitude. I said, well, for starters. And so, I'm working through it. He said, well, I have a transaction coordinator and they messed it up. I said, oh, okay. I said, do you want me to email it back to them and ask them to fix it? I'm trying to get it done. And he's like, no, I'll handle it. Okay, great. So it took about 4 days, honestly, 4 days to get a contract that was legible and made sense and was not going to be giving us everything away. So finally, when we got through that, it just set the tone for me to be on guard now and nervous about anything else that we might have to negotiate and work through, because it's not I don't have a great communicator on the other end here. And so that it turned into a whole lot of back and forth between me and the agent, where I had to ask him not to call me anymore. That's what it was. I asked him not to call me anymore because I needed things in writing, because things were not coming out in a truthful manner when I see them in writing after our conversation.
Right.
And that created a huge problem between us, where I had to go into my own heart
Yeah.
and realize how much it was affecting me and my daily routine of how I was feeling about myself, about him, about the industry, about client. Like, the whole thing was affecting me in such a negative way that I couldn't see past. And the only thing I could do, and it ties into something else I was doing, I was teaching the 4 agreements. And I know I go down rabbit holes when I'm telling you a story, but it all ties together at the end. I was teaching the 4 agreements, which are being impeccable in your word. Don't take things personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Those are the 4 principles. I was teaching that to my women's group at the time, and I'm on being impeccable in your word on that lesson. And when I woke up that morning and I'm mad at this agent and thinking, oh, I can't wait to talk to his broker and tell her everything he's been doing and tell her how he's messing this all up. And then thinking, oh, I gotta get to go teach today. Really? I'm going to go try to teach people to be impeccable in their word when I'm ripping this guy a new one in my head. So guess what I did? Picked up the phone and I called him, and thank God he answered, because I don't know that my voicemail would have made the impact that the conversation did. And he was, I could see his face like, hello, why, who's this? Why are you calling me? And I said, I want you to know that I owe you the biggest apology. I am so sorry for my role in all the miscommunication that we've had that have turned us to where we are today, because it's affecting me. I know it has to be affecting you. It's affecting our clients for sure. And that's not what we're about. And he was so relieved to hear me say that. He apologized back. We forgave each other, and it turned out to be a good transaction at the end. But
Wow.
and I'm sorry, it's such a long story, but that was one of those things that started as something that I had never had happen before, and it ended in such a positive way, but I had to go through so many, peaks and valleys to get there, but it was worth it for the lesson.
Wow. I love that. I love that. It reminds me of, I did a lot of sales training before I got into real estate. I did sales job, and they always talked about when you're training people to do these horrible cold calls, whether in person or on the phone, you got to get and one of the things that they just always said is you control the conversations you have with people. You're in control of the dialogue that you're in. And just and that story just proves it again, like the power of, hey, I'm sorry, and getting off that sort of ego high horse thing where I'm the better agent than you, being like, this is whatever, I'm sorry, we both weren't great, and we move on. Because I think that's what gets caught up with a lot of agents, just in general, it's just these egos sort of fighting, and that's just not what we need to sort of be about. Thank you for sharing. I love that.
You're welcome.
Cinthia, what do you have crazy story to share us of all your
So
years?
how am I supposed to follow that?
I know.
So you had a lot of time to think up something.
Thank you, Krystine. I don't have anything to say.
Make something up.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
So, funny that you mentioned that book, because I'm rereading it again.
Oh, wonderful. I love that.
And when you said that, I got the chills. I'm like, yep,
Yay.
the universe at work. Love it.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think I have, just like you said, crazy transaction. I keep on putting it out there that I want to get to meet and work with the people that I'm gonna make an impact on their life.
Mhm.
I love that.
And I think purchasing a house, it's not only their biggest financial transaction, but a lot of the times is a milestone that is gonna change future generations in that family.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the way that I see it is, it's an honor. It's a lot of hand holding, when we have a second language, in between, but it is so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rewarding.
Do you have a rewarding story you can share with us? Like what, maybe like a buyer that really had a lot of things they had to sort of get through to get to where they're at? Do you have?
I'm working with a couple of buyers right now. We're closing at the end of the month. And I believe we're already clear to close, but the realtor is in Florida. So we're trying to lump up all of her closings so that she's here for the closings at the end of the month. They had a really bad car accident last week.
Oh, no.
Like their van tumbled over like 2 times. Their 14-year-old ended up in the hospital with a concussion.
Ugh.
A couple of days ago, I actually went to their house to bring them some documents. Mom has a really hard time writing. She doesn't read or write. So it takes quite a bit to get her to write her name in any piece of paper. So I was prepared for that. Her daughter comes out of the shower and she says that she has this major headache, the same kid that was in the accident with them a week ago, and that she had a concussion. And again, really simple people. And I'm like, so what are you guys gonna do? Like, I don't like this. She's a completely healthy, otherwise 14-year-old kid who wakes up from a nap and has a major headache. So I got to drag her to the hospital with her mom and pretend that I'm the aunt and got them to be seen right away. But
Wow.
those are the kind of things where I know that those were meant to be my clients, because I mean, they trust you with their kid. It's like, okay, I don't speak the language. I can barely write. And I'm like, just let's go. I got home at 10:21. My husband is like, I thought you were kidnapped. And I'm like, no, we're just coming back from the emergency room.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the conclusion that for the girl? What did they find?
Nothing, thank God. The first thing that I thought was a brain bleed. I'm like, oh boy. But no, it was just from the same accident.
Okay.
She got pretty banged up, everybody actually. I mean, it was amazing that the 3 of them got away with
Right.
bumps and scratches, but they just sent her home with muscle relaxers, but at least they did all of the tests and there was no bleeding. But
Those people will never forget you.
Right.
no,
They will never ever forget you. That's such a blessing that
Yeah.
you were there for them.
yeah, I love those stories. I love the clients that just stay forever.
Oh, yeah. What are some ways that you build clients like this? You both say that I don't want to deal with crazy. I have a specific client that I deal with, and then people that I truly care for. And how do you create a business like that? Because I think a lot of agents feel sort of like they don't, I think a lot of agents feel like they're working with people that they may not want to work with, or they don't, they're probably listening like, oh my God, like I would never help my client's kid. Like, that's a you problem, but where do you find clients that you have this connection, and what do you do to sort of maintain and help these clients feel super connected to you?
That's a great question. A lot of my clients are people that I already know. So they're relationships that I've already established either through friendships or social groups or, networking, any places like that I've already established the trust. That's for me what I feel like is the key ingredient for any kind of relationship, whether it's going to be with my clients or with service providers or anyone involved, is that they see that I'm a straight shooter, that I'm honest and I have integrity and I care about the outcome. I'm not just winging it here and trying to get a sale. I care about you, and I do believe that comes across in my demeanor toward people, and hopefully it comes across quickly so that I don't, have to keep convincing them that no, I really do have your best interests at heart. That's why I feel like it's important to meet with people right away, especially people that you don't already have that kind of relationship with. I have a working relationship with a local credit union that I'm in a program that they have that assigns buyers to me that have an account with that credit union when they want to buy a home. So I'm sometimes chosen as the real estate agent, and we have no relationship whatsoever. Those people, I made sure that I did a face-to-face right away. I met one of them, a couple that I just sold their house and bought them another one. We met in Costco for the first time. And ate hot dogs while they waited on their tires to get changed, and so that was their closing gift, was a Costco gift card. But I think it's important to show up and to show that we care, and yeah, that's probably my answer: showing up and showing that we care.
Absolutely. Well, and statistically, buying a home is one of the most stressful things you ever go through, besides like being married and being divorced or something like that. That's the status. Like getting married, buying a house, and divorcing are like the top three. So by design, we will imprint in our clients' minds too in a really high stress, time in their life. So if we're taking care of them correctly, they should remember us, our faces, our names. They will only forget us if we're not serving them the way that we need to, I
That's
think.
right.
Cynthia, what do you talk to us about sort of your clients, how you find them, what you sort of do?
A lot of my clients are, funny thing, referred by a credit union. I worked for a credit union for 11 years.
Okay.
And also past clients, and also realtor referrals. And something that I have noticed that works with me is not making it a transactional relationship. Like I would call them out of the blue and they're like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just missed you. You popped in my head and I wanted to see what's going on." And it's harder when you have ADD. But again, I mean, you never know when they are gonna have a conversation about real estate, and if you're not on top of mind, they might just blurt out the name of a realtor that keeps on popping on their feed, even though it's the same 2 transactions for the month. But they keep on putting it out there over and over. So it is important, I think. Just make it personal.
Well, some ways that I've always, and this is back before, because I've been in sales for a long time, but then I quit drinking back in 2020. So I did this before because I would used to go, before I quit drinking, I was very chatty, and a couple beers, I would become more chatty. So when I would have conversations with people, I got really good at my CRM because I would take notes just in case I wouldn't remember. So, but that's always helped me too, is like being in the habit of sort of doing that. I was having so many conversations, I would have forgotten this person has 3 kids, this person has 5 kids, I would have switched them or things like that. But having a place to sort of like dump information about them. And I think sometimes we get a little weird about that because we're like, we don't want to stalk them. No, you want to have information. When you go to your doctor, they give you stacks of paperwork to fill of all of your personal information that they reference. Why are we not having personal information to reference, especially if we're in a career where we need to have interpersonal, connections? If your kids are the same age, you should be talking about that. Like, it's more weird if you think you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like, these are just social skills that make sense. Like, birthdays, anniversaries, catch those things, stick a card in the mail. I love to buy just like 100 at a time of like thank you notes and just try to, get them out there, just personal things. What are some other personal touches that are sort of easy that you can kind of put in to bring more of a personal connection with your client?
I can't say that I am great at doing that. I think of all kinds of things, and then when it comes to the execution, I'm like, oh, I should have, could have, would have. And I don't like that feeling. In fact, that's something that I'm talking to my transaction coordinator about setting up a automatic sending something personal to them after the transaction, so that I'm not, every time I drive by the street that I sold, think, oh, I still didn't send them any, I mean, I
Yeah.
always something at closing, but you know how it is. It's like, oh, I got a closing in an hour. What do I don't know. That's me. I'm more about like giving them the personal service than I am giving them something, a tchotchke to remember me by, because they're gonna remember me from the experience. That's my hope anyway.
Right.
If not, then tell me what I need to be buying people that will make them remember me.
Well, and I think it's the 2-point thing too, because like I've listed houses with magnets of other realtors on the fridge, like just because your face is on there doesn't you don't call dibs, it's that balance of sort of front of mind. I like to put my logo on things because it's a tax write-off. I am down with paying as little taxes as I possibly can. Cynthia, what do you have anything that you do to sort of bring your personal touch to the business?
I do send thank you cards, and I'm trying to get better at it, where I send it not only to transactions, to like the buyer and real estate agents, but really to anybody. If I feel like a waitress went out of her way to do her job, make sure that I send a thank you card addressed to the restaurant so that their managers see it. I do put together gift baskets for closings, and just birthdays. I usually steer away from anniversaries, like the anniversary of the purchase of the home, I do, but the anniversary of being married, because
Oh, don't do that.
statistics are stacked against.
Statistics, no. Statistically, I got a call the other day and I was like, come on, man, that was like 2 husbands ago. Give me a break.
Yes, exactly.
Why do you still have that name in your system?
I hate that name. I made somebody change it at the tire store for me the other day. I'm like, really? Why do you have this name in here? Can you change that? And they're like, okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I did that one time. I think I mailed one anniversary card to a divorced couple, and then I was like, this is a bad idea. I'm gonna stop doing this.
Oops.
Yeah, you're very thoughtful. I love that you execute your thoughtfulness. That's really great.
It is true. I've gotten those calls from Cynthia before. I'll be like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, hi. I'm good. I'm hanging out.
Yeah, good for you. Maybe I'll get it through osmosis.
Social media. What do you ladies? I know Cynthia posts a lot. Krystine, you guys kind of post. Tell us sort of what you do with social media. Are you getting business from there? Are you connecting with people?
I end up posting a lot of lately it's been family stuff, and as well as volunteer things I've been doing in the community as a volunteer, that I like to invite other the community too. Hey, come out and see this, or come out and do that. So that gets engagement. As far as getting business out of my social media right now, I feel like I've been doing so many volunteer roles right now, which is good. I thought about it yesterday. Normally, when I'm feeling like, oh gosh, I'm doing a whole lot of just showing up for nothing here, for free, then I start to feel resentful of my time. That's just natural for me to feel that way. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any money. I'm not doing any sales because I'm spending this time on the volunteer opportunities. Um, but it's been such a joy to be doing the volunteer things lately that I haven't even really thought about missing out on any kind of business. And I think that's because my business has been steady this year and it's just been flowing. And it's because I have not been thinking about, oh my God, where's the business? I've been thinking about, oh, hey, where am I needed out here? Who needs me to do what because of who I know and what I know? So that has really been great for me, mentally, socially, and emotionally, to be honest with you.
I love that, Cynthia.
I do get a lot of realtors reaching out to me on social media.
Yeah.
And I keep on saying that it's my mom's prayers. She's here visiting from Costa Rica. And I actually get realtors asking me, they are like, can I work with you? You have a great sense of humor. And I'm like, sure, let me think about it.
See if I can fit you in.
Yeah.
I'm booked the whole week, but I can make an exception. I do get a lot of exposure through Facebook. I'm still not too keen on any other platform because I'm
Posts a
old.
lot of funny memes though. Cynthia always has something funny. That's her key, I think.
Full enough. And you don't want to see pictures of my closings or what the market is doing or where the rates are going. So let me put something that is gonna light up your day and make you laugh, if anything, for a bit.
It's true. The rates lately have not been doing that. Recently, a little bit lately, but not like overall lately. They have not been making us laugh and enjoy.
For what? My memes?
No, the rates. I said no. Your
Ooh, yes.
Oh,
social media is the only
Yeah, I
thing.
thought
that
you
makes
said,
us laugh.
I thought you said
No.
her meme too. I'm like, oh, what is she
No, her
posting?
memes.
I know. What did I do, Krystine?
No. Her Cynthia's memes are way better than the current mortgage rates. That
I
way.
just wrote down her name so I can friend her because I need to laugh every day too.
The mortgage rates are what they are. I mean, I am not a economist. And when the rates were 3%, I'm like, this is wrong. It's not sustainable. It's not making any sense. Once you get to know what they pay the servicing companies and how much money banks make for servicing mortgages, it wasn't sustainable. So it's no wonder rates are where they are. What people seem to forget is that when I bought my house 18 years ago, and this is because I had good credit, my rate was a 9.81%. When people were getting 13s and 12s and 11s, I got a 9.8.
She was like, I'm a single digit, guys.
Yes. Yes, we actually started tracking mortgage rates back in the late 1990s, early 2000s, and first mortgages were 18%, and home equity lines of credit were 24% interest rate.
Oh, yeah, I feel like in general though, people always will complain about rates, just like they're like, you know what I mean? Like no matter what, like
The gas prices.
This is
Yeah.
true.
even when they were 3%, people were like, I want to wait for it to get to 2.5. Oh my God, shut up and buy a house. With all due respect, sir. If our listeners want
No
to
respect due there.
if our followers or listeners want to connect with you, where can they find you, Cynthia? Website, socials? Do you have a number? Where would you like them to connect with you for a loan?
My cell phone number, 720-234-7779.
Great.
I'm a texter and I'm a night owl, so it really doesn't matter what time you text. Chances are I will answer. And to my realtors, I always tell them, if you're working, I'm working. So whether it's evenings, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm gonna be working with you. To my female realtors, do not ever do open house by yourselves. Call me, let's put it in a calendar, even if it's just hanging out and getting to know each other. Please don't set up an open house by yourselves. My email is Cinthya with a weird spelling. Thank you, Mom. She got creative with me. CINTHYA@barrettfinancial.com.
Great.
And again, I love the easy transactions, but I'm really good with ITIN borrowers, bank statements, hard money loans, DSCRs. I want to say if there is a way to make the loan happen, chances are I know where to send it and how to structure it. So give me a call and befriend me on Facebook so that you can laugh your head off.
Fabulous. Yes.
Can I ask Cynthia a question?
Of course.
Are you licensed in all states? Which states are you licensed in?
I have Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Texas, and New Mexico. It's really easy for me to get licensed on your state.
Okay.
So if you want to get my license, it would probably take me 24 hours to do the education piece.
Wow.
And 3 days a week to get the license.
Mhm.
So I would love to help you.
Well, thank you. We'll see if I can gather up some more to make it worth your while.
Sure.
Krystine, where can we find you at?
Okay, I am Krystine Torella, and thank you to my mom too for giving me a strange spelling. So my email is Krystine, Krystine at Team Torella, Torella, realty.com. So Krystine at teamtorellarealty.com. That's the name of my brokerage, teamtorellarealty.com. And my cell phone is 678-907-6266. And yeah, I'm like Cynthia. I don't have great boundaries as far as telling people I only work from 9 to 5. Sometimes I will block my calendar on a Friday and spend the whole day paddle boarding with my friends. But most of the time I'm available, and I will get right back to you when you reach out to me. And yeah, I'm in the Metro Atlanta area, and I'm licensed for the whole state. I love being able to help anybody that needs my help in buying or selling a home. That's me.